Good morning all, it's Tom here again as always. Wednesday morning, it's a bit, well, it's dry on the ground but it's a bit drizzly and horrible this morning. I was late to work because I was trying to organise a baby at the same time. Us men aren't that good at that, so yeah, managed to be an hour late. At the moment we've got Flynn, I've just passed him away in. He's just taking his tractor up to Smorages for the rear mudguard just to get a bit of a repair. There was damage done to that months ago, so we're sorting that out. And up in the workshop, we'll just shoot up there and see what they're up to. They are just doing a few little upgrades, a bit of maintenance on the maize header. Yeah, replacing a few bits, and actually some of the bits coming off will go in to the online auction, which is opening on Friday. So if anyone is interested in Kemper maize header parts, I'll give you a quick look so you can see what might be added, as it may well be of interest. So up in the workshop we've got a dismembered maize header. All the dividers are here, they'll be going back onto it, but we are replacing the gathering drums and then the knife drums. And they're going to go back on here as new parts, with those dividers being then reused. Essentially allows for some of those wearing parts on the header to be replaced and as new again. So that's what we've been up to the last couple of days in the workshop. And yeah, those knife drums and gathering drums that have come off will be going into the into that online auction, as I mentioned. We'll sell them in lots of 6 most likely. Obviously it's Kemper maize header, and what we'll also be putting in there is a conversion kit for the Kemper to fit onto a John Deere harvester. So we'll put that in the auction as well. I'll just quickly show you what I'm talking about. So it's essentially everything you need for that header to fit onto John Deere harvester. You can see some of the bits here are actually brand new, as it was sold to us that we needed everything, but turns out we had some of these bits, didn't need all of it, so we are selling the whole kit. So that'll be on there too if anyone's interested. So Harry's going to head off with the Terrano, do a bit of cultivation. We've just got some new tines to go on for tungsten up to the bolt holes, and then a bit more hard facing up past them. They're a little bit wider. That should just offer a little bit more protection, as if I show you, at the moment these are a little bit narrower, and we're just finding that there's a bit of wear on the leg. And we're hoping that by using these newer ones, slightly different shape, we won't get that wear on the legs. We won't have to replace them anytime soon. So as I mentioned, we were going to get out into a couple fields and do some cultivating for one of our customers. This first field we're in, it's just a case of going around the tramlines that were left behind after a wheat crop, ripping them up, and then there's a bit of a wetter patch in the field. There's a wet spot when the wheat went in, so it's just giving that a decent going over, because there's going to be a Italian ryegrass going in here. So Harry's is up here at the moment, pulling his way through all of that, and then he's got one full field to do afterwards. So you see, we're just pulling it pretty deep through these tram lines, pulling out the compaction that the sprayer's left behind. Just watch him join this next headland tram line. So obviously pulling up a bit of compacted ground. You're working that Terrano quite deep, and that's the reason we're going with those tips that I showed you earlier, the hard facing all the way up, and tungsten as far as the bolt holes as well. There is a full tungsten option on those points, but we thought it was probably overkill to go tungsten the whole way up. It's obviously the best option in terms of wearing, but not cheap. So yeah, we've gone with what we've got. We'll see how they go. Obviously got slightly wider than what was on there as standard with the machine, which allows hopefully for a bit less wear on those legs. So we've got the drone up in the air, just watching what Harry's up to here. You can see him passing along the centre of the field through those tram lines made by the sprayer. As I said, he'll drop the Terrano in reasonably deep, bring up that compaction. We just got to do the tram lines in this field, and then grass seeds will be drilled in after it's had a digestate application. So he's moving along there. We'll pan around, we'll watch him for a little bit. You can see it's spitting with rain at this point, but it doesn't last for a lot more than a couple minutes. And as ever with the tyre inflation system on Horsch tractor, once he's in the field, he'll let them down a bit. See that spot I was talking about earlier, a bit of a wet spot in the field where it was at the time of bringing the last crop, and kind of November, December last year we were spraying for herbicide, and obviously that is the result. But now, naturally, after the year we've had, that'll be worked down absolutely fine. Should grow some grass. So we'll rip through that as well and do that whole area. Pull up any compaction there from it sitting under that water. And that's all we've got to do in this field, and we'll catch up with Harry shortly. I've shown you what Harry's up to, and we'll check in with Harry again later in the day, I expect. And I'll show you what Tony's up to, but I'll just say that we've got another one of the fans of the channel in the field with me. Yeah, big fan apparently, so that's good. And yeah, we'll show you what Tony's up to. So Tony is here spreading. This field's gonna have a bit of interesting life for the next few years. It's going to be going into a bit of agroforestry, market farming type rotation. The farmer's going to have rows of trees, 24-meter gaps, and in those gaps you're growing certain crops. Most likely some vegetables in there. So that's what this field is going to become. So obviously giving it its fertilizer application now, and it'll be worked down, and then from there they will do what they need to do in terms of the tree planting, and then the crop planting will obviously come after that. Yeah, with the 24-meter strips, we've just had a chat about the sprayer's capability to fold back to 24 meters, so that obviously any crops grown can be looked after properly. But it'll be interesting to see what's going on with this field in the future. So I'll check back in. Harry's now made his way over to the same field that Tony's in spreading over there, and he'll work this entire field down, get it ready for that agroforestry project that I was just talking about. Will's just loading a few more items onto a trailer, ready to go in the auction, and we'll move them next week before the viewing day. So the viewing day is going to be the 5th, so we've got to make sure that obviously everything that's going to be in is down there. Things are cleaned off and looking presentable. So that'll be something we've got to keep on top of, as well as kind of keeping an eye out for when maize might start. Although I did have a quick look earlier, and I'm not sure it will be next week, to be honest. Looking at what they're looking like, cobs are still a little way away. We will call it a day there for today's video. I've got to shoot off fairly well on time today. I've got Ronnie with me, and his mum will be seriously missing him. Most of the chaps still up in the workshop with the maize header. Had a slight little problem. Just there's a metal dowel which is stuck or snapped off in the hole, and we can't get any purchase on the outside of it, so we're just trying to get something in there to be able to pull it out, but it's proving pretty tough. I think the latest plan might be to get a die grinder on it and go about it that way, but as of yet we've tried many different things, but we'll get there. Other than that, the maize header is starting to take shape, a bit more to do to it, but yeah, won't be long before it's looking spick and span. Yeah, and aside from that, this afternoon we've just been kind of aside from what I've shown you, taking some more bits around in order to get them in the auction. It's one of those things, once we've got stuff being sold, it's like there's a never-ending additions to it of stuff that's been lying around that we just don't use anymore, that someone could make good use of. So we've been keeping ourselves busy, despite there being not a tremendous amount of work going on out in the fields as of yet this week. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow. Cheers.